What's up guys, Rodster13 here, and I finally got my hands on a Mustang from the junkyard. I also got a GT40 sitting next to this here in the garage that I'll be making a video on soon. But let's get this thing washed so it ain't so dirty, and then we'll get into restoring it. Yeah, so the GT40, I'll probably be making a video on that, it'll be out in like a day or two. And then after that, it's just getting a Mustang Mach 1. But I don't really know what I'm going to do with this car yet. I don't know if I'm going to make a drag build or make it like a street car. I think a street car would probably be a little bit better if I put the supercharged motor in it, and then the drag build would probably be more appropriate. But I think I'll make this a street car. And so I'm going to be restoring it. And it is going to get all aftermarket parts. That's the only way I do it here. I don't build stuff with all stock parts. I never have. And I probably won't ever do that. So it's going to be all aftermarket. And after that, or after this gets done, I'm going to run it through the test path, get it aligned, run it through the paint shop, get it painted, and then put it on dyno, see what it makes for horsepower, and either take it to the drag strip or the speed track just to drive it for a quick minute and see how it is and everything. So back to the Mustang Mach 1. I did get my hands on one. It was actually a super rare one, which I thought was pretty cool. It had the like lime greenish color on it, which I believe they called it like grabber green or something. I looked it up. I forgot what it's called. It's something like grabber green or grabber lime green or something like that. But the car, the Mustang Mach 1, there was only 662 of them made with that color on them. So it was actually the rarest Mach 1 you could get your hands on. And I found one, excuse me, with that color already on it. So I kept that color, even though I love them in the red. They look awesome in red. But I kept that color on it. It looked pretty sick. I got that from auction. And it was pretty much like just set and ready to rock. Like the motor ran, the suspension was all still pretty good, and so I was able to literally just build the motor, and I could have drove it perfectly fine, had all the tires and everything. But I ended up going through repairing all the suspension components, buying new bushings and stuff that I couldn't repair, getting it back to 100%, and then dropped the fully built motor into it, the 429, and just sent it from there. So it's a nice car. But I really wanted to restore one and make a video on it, so that's why I'm trying to get my hands on one from a junkyard or from the salvage auction, whichever comes first. But I'll probably have better luck with a salvage auction, honestly. So when I can get my hands on one, I definitely will, and I will make a video on that. But that'll be the final car for the Ford DLC, and the Ford DLC is actually going to be the first DLC that I've gone through all the cars. But all the suspension's out of this. I did make a little bit of a cut in the video just because I didn't want to go through taking everything out. I'd rather just go through putting all the new stuff back in and whatnot, because that's taking all the old stuff out. It takes a while with all the rusty bolts and everything. When I did videos on the last Car Mechanic Simulator, it would take like an hour and a half at least, maybe a little bit less, to fully restore a car. But now, with the awesome new shopping list system, you can literally just go in and click a button on all the parts and then just pop in or open your tablet, pop into the whichever thing you need to go into, and just buy all the parts in one go, which is really nice. I love that new system, because the shopping list system on the last game, it wasn't really that good. Like, it would just give you a list of all the parts you needed, and then you would still have to go into the right shop, look at the list, buy the parts, then go back into the list, delete it, or as most of you probably know on here, you go into the list, you click on it, brings you right to the part, and then get however many you need, delete it, move on to the next one, and keep going. But I love that system. I really do. It saves a lot of time, because now on here, you went from like having to take an hour to an hour and a half for storing a car to being able to get one done in like 30, 40 minutes. So it cut the time in half pretty much. So it is nice. But sometimes I paint suspension parts on cars. This one I didn't do that. I was thinking of doing it after I did go and do the car. I was like, man, I should have painted some stuff, but it's all good. Maybe on a car in the future I will. But I did just paint the calipers, because I feel like if you add the performance rotors or brake discs, whatever, then you almost like need to paint the calipers to make it look right, because with the factory color on them it looks a little weird. But that, and I love red, so I do red calipers on pretty much all my cars. Some of them get blue calipers, but I do red most of the time because of Brembo, and then sometimes I'll do the blue because of Wildwood, or I think that's what they're called, brakes. But I know you can I think you can get Wildwoods in like black and stuff like that. I don't know about Brembos. I think you can get them in black, but I don't know too much about them. I just know that a lot of the stuff I see with Brembo brakes is red. When I was actually in Bosse's, it's kind of funny saying it now, but because I made car mechanic simulator videos on the last one, telling you guys I want to go to Bosse's for auto mechanics to be able to work on cars and whatnot. Now I actually have gone through that and have my certificates and whatnot. So we had I don't remember what year it was, but it was a Dodge Challenger in there, and it had Brembo brakes on it. And these calipers were huge. They were dual piston calipers, and I mean, these things were massive. Like, I've done work on mainly my Silverado and my Trailblazer, and the calipers on the Trailblazer are relatively small. They're not tiny, but they're kind of small. And then I did the ones on the truck, and I'm like, wow, these things are huge. And they weigh like a crap ton too. It's almost like, I guess to put it into comparison, you can take a caliper off a Trailblazer and hold it in one hand, no problem. You take it off the truck, and it's almost like you need two hands to be able to hold it. Which, I mean, you don't necessarily need that, but it's just really heavy is what I'm getting at. Everything on 2500s, I guess, is heavy duty. Everything from the HD on the side to the components holding it together, apparently. Except for those little plastic bearings that are in the steering wheel. That's not heavy duty, but we don't talk about that. Anyway, I do want to get more videos out on like my truck and the Trailblazer. I made some on that in the past, and then I ended up deleting them off YouTube, which I don't know why I did, but I did. So I should have kept those up, but I tried finding them again and I couldn't find them anywhere. I was hoping I could re-upload them or something, but couldn't find them anywhere, so it is what it is. I'll just make more videos in the future on it, hopefully. I don't know, I gotta find something to be able to do or whatever, because I don't think a walk around video would really be interesting, but I might throw that up and kind of use it as a fresh slate and start over with the vehicle, like the real life vehicle stuff. But back to this, the suspension's in the car, the tires are on it, and I'm just trying to get the stuff under the hood in here before I get the motor in, just because that way there, when I get the motor in, I can just add the fluid, or raise the car up, bolt in the transmission, drive shaft, starter, and then put all the fluids in real quick and just get it all done. But so far, like, this car, I don't know, I am getting a little bit more used to all the suspension components, but this car ain't bad. It felt pretty quick to put together, honestly. Like, it felt much quicker than a lot of other cars, but I don't know, lately it's been kind of feeling that way. It just seems like it's faster restoring cars for some reason, because after I did this, I ended up doing a Land Rover Evoque. I don't know if that's how you say it, but did one of those, and then I did, alongside of that was the Bolt Mosquito Mach 6, which is the 2016 Camaro SS, I believe. At least that's what it looks like. So they had pretty much the same suspension, front and rear. The only thing different was the Land Rover, being all-wheel drive, had the extra drive shafts up front, and then the sway bar was a different one, and the sway bar lengths were different as well. But other than that, it was all pretty straightforward, pretty much the same everywhere. So I blew through those quick. I had both those cars done in the amount of time it would take to restore one on the last one. So it was pretty nice. But with the motor too, I ended up going with orange and black on it. I don't know, I was trying to find some type of color combo, and I like painting the white coil covers just because I like changing it up, or at least painting the head covers black. So I ended up doing that and painting the coil covers orange, and then I painted the oil filter orange. And I keep an abundance of rod caps, crankshaft bearing caps, and aftermarket pistons. I buy them, like, the max is 50 that you can buy on Xbox, so I buy those all like one shot, and then that way that I don't ever run out. Because I find myself rarely ever working on motors that take like the V8 OHVC pistons, or OHVB I think is the other piston. I don't even know what those pistons go into. It might be like the Crown Victoria motor or something, or like the V8 OHV SS or something, I don't know, but I know those pistons don't go into very many motors, maybe even only one, I don't know, but I don't use them that much, I know that. And this motor, I still have yet to get used to everything in it. I think after this time of doing it, I will probably be pretty good with it, because this is my second one I've done. I do have another Mustang GT. I bought it from a dealership, so I wasn't gonna make a video on that because it's already 100%. So I mean, the only thing I could really do is take it to the drag strip and just be like, "Oh, look at my Mustang," but I wasn't gonna do that. I wanted to find one to restore it and then take it out for like a little spin and show you guys how it drives, I guess, after that, or tell you guys how it drives, which I mean, cars on Car Mechanic aren't really going to drive too much different, but I guess more so, well, can't even say how it sounds either, because a lot of the sounds are carried from engine to engine, but some of them are just tweaked enough to make it sound a tad bit different, and then others just simply have the same sound as another engine in the game. Like this one I think shares the same sound as the AXK motor, maybe. I don't know. I haven't heard that motor in a long time, honestly, because anything that had that motor that I could put the supercharged dual overhead cam V8 into, that was what I ended up putting into the vehicle. So I don't do a lot of AXK motors anymore. And now that we have the Ford motors, I did, or actually no, I lied. We have, or I should say I have, done 3 of these motors now, because I have my Mustang, then I got a F350 I put this 5.0 into, or well, not this one, but another one I built into it, and then now this one. So I've done 3, and honestly, like, luckily you can type in Coyote to the search bar on either the performance or the regular shop, and you get a majority of the parts that you need, especially on the regular shop. I mean, you get the block, you get the timing cover, the timing chains, the cam gears, I don't know what they call, are they timing shoes? I think that's what they call them, or something like that, I don't know. But they're the little, like, tensioners that are bolted up by the timing chain under the cover there. I don't remember what they call them. I don't think it's timing shoe, but it's a something shoe, I know that. And then you get your belts, and the only things you really have to go buy separately are like the water pump, the pulley, the alternator, and the power steering pump, and the pistons, the spark plugs, and the ignition coils, and I think that's pretty much it. So everything is pretty much right there for you, which is nice, because I know, like, you can type in like V8 OHV and you get a whole bunch of different stuff. So now you'll be able to start to see the black and orange making the appearance. I painted the head covers black, like I said. The intake manifold, it is a performance one that is normally chrome, but I painted that a either solid black, matte black, or pearl. I don't remember which one it was, but then I painted the fuel rails orange as well, and the cover here I painted orange, but I'm not too sure on how I like that. I wish like the 5.0 would be orange, and then the little metal rings that go over the intake would be orange, and then the rest of the plastic would be black. That would make it look better instead of doing like a dark orange, but for the most part it was something a little different, so I kind of liked it, and I wasn't keeping the car, so I wasn't too worried about if it looked the way I want it to or not. I only worry about that if it's my cars. Now going in for a starter, I believe I do have a drive shaft, so I just throw that in here, and then after that, get the fluids in, because I believe everything's 100. So now just get the fluids in it, and then send it to the test path, and be good to go. I know we just got the Ford DLC too, but I can't help but think what the next DLC is going to be, just because I've done so many of the original cars, and I've done quite a few of the DLC cars now. So I haven't gone through too many of the Ford DLC cars yet, so it's not like I'm bored with it, but I just can't wait to see what the next DLC is going to be. I wish they wouldn't do them so far apart, because like we got this DLC March 24th, so the next DLC is probably not going to be till May, which kind of sucks. I do know that Red Dot is or actually it's not Red Dot, they confirmed it, but Red Dot said that Playway is working on finishing up licensing with Dodge and Plymouth, so those will probably be the next two remastered DLCs. And then as far as what the next new one will be, I don't know. Because we got this DLC, which is a remastered one, in March. I think the last one was January. But I don't even remember what DLC that was. Or if we even got it. Yeah, we had to have gotten a DLC. I don't even remember though. But normally, with their system, they do like 2 remastered DLCs and then a new DLC. So I think we've gotten 2, yeah, because we got the Drag DLC in November, which that DLC took a while to come out. That took like a majority of 2022. I think we got the Land Rover DLC in like February, and then after that we didn't get anything till November, I believe, which was the Drag DLC. So I think we got some type of remastered DLC in January or February, and then now this one. So I believe the next one will be a new one. But like I said, with the motor, or wait, maybe I didn't say it, I don't know, but because I painted the motor orange and black, I did go with the orange on the car, because I do like how these Mustangs look in orange. I've seen like one or two in orange, and I love how they look. But let's see what we get for power here. 37 horsepower. 902 horsepower and 777 pound-feet of torque. It's pretty good. Especially for a naturally aspirated V8. I have one, so like I'm not too surprised, but it does kind of surprise me. Like I know it's probably doable, but I feel like at that point you would almost need to have like some type of supercharger turbo setup, even if it was just like 5 pounds of boost, just something like to be able to get to that point. Here she is. It looks like our window tint's gone. Just got it on the windshield, but I believe it did mess up. Window tint on at the shop, but it won't let me select it when I was doing that. So, that's alright. Like I said, it's not going to be my car, so I'm not too worried about it. I'll just sell it to whoever wants it with some nice windshield tint on there, and I'll bring it back to, charge them more if they want the other windows tinted, but it worked that way. Car does handle pretty good for 900 horsepower and almost 800 pound-feet of torque on race tires. Factory might be a little bit bigger than factory size. I think they're a little bit wider. Too much wider actually. This was all new because I didn't experience what this car could do with race tires. Mine has slicks on it because I was thinking, up 900 horsepower, almost 800 pound-feet of torque, and I was like, yeah, this thing's probably gonna have slicks on it for drag racing, because I thought it would spin out. Definitely wrong with that. This thing still launches good. I don't know what this car would do. If it is something you guys want to see, comment down below. And take this back to the shop, and that's probably where I'll end things off. So, if you guys did enjoy the video, I know this was a long one. I haven't done a long one in a while. If you guys did enjoy the video, please drop a like. And if you want to see more Car Mechanic Simulator videos, I do have the GT40 and the Mustang Mach 1 I gotta get my hands on. I have the GT40 though, but I'm gonna make videos on those. So if you guys want to see those and more restoration videos in the future, consider subscribing to the channel, because I will definitely be making more videos on this game. And you can get a whopping 200 grand for this car. That's awesome. But hopefully you guys did enjoy, and I will catch you in the next video. Actually, before I go, did forget to mention, if you do take the car out after you build it. It does decrease in value only because it is dirty, so just wash it real quick and you'll be set to go. But now she's washed and she's out of here. Time to move on to the next project. So now that that's out of the way, I'll catch you guys in the next one.